call this meeting of the Tucker County Board of Education into session. 4 members are here. Kathy Ham is not. Will you please stand and recite the pledge of allegiance?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Any public comments? Listed delegations, another presentation recognition. We're down to preliminary budget update.
All right, you're first.
Ooh, fly. Okay. We got fancy this year and you have grass.
You used color?
I used color. I did.
Never use this color.
And now it's 5 days more, you know?
She yells at us when we use color.
It's so important, or it's really important. I usually look for you. All right, so I just wanted to give you a preliminary snapshot of what we're kind of looking at for next year's budget. We do have preliminary comps, which is what you have in your handouts. We're supposed to get final comps at the end of this week. However, I've heard rumor that they're potentially going back into a special session again for education. So I'm aware that they may change. Okay, so the first page is just, I share this information with you every year. But like I said, it's in a chart this year, color. So the top part is staff, number of total staff, and it goes from school year 2018 up through 2025. It's based off of our certified list, so I don't have next year's yet. But you can see just in general, we've increased staff as we've gone. The next chart shows in blue is our enrollment, which you can see is on the decline, has been declining. The orange is the number of students that we get funded for. So remember, we have what we call those ghost kids. And you can see, it's kind of cool, the gap between the blue bar and the orange bar is getting greater, which means that over time, and pretty much with the passage of House Bill 206, we've been getting paid for more ghost kids than what we were previously, with that gap being greater there. So that's positive. Although in the last 25 to 26, it is going down a little bit, and that's because our enrollment's declining. Okay, the next page shows, this is the steps of our formula. The first column has our preliminary comps for the next school year. The next column has what was our final comps for the school year that we're in now, and then a difference column. So overall, through all the 8 steps, we're anticipating $87,529 more in state aid for next year. And then I have below that some estimated increases and decreases. So the first line there, employee yearly step increases. Every year, our staff, professional and service, goes 1 grade down on our pay table. They get an additional year of service, so every year they get a pay raise. By my calculations, I'm expecting just that step increase to cost almost exactly what our increased state aid is going to be. With, what's it called? I can't remember the name of the act.
Oh, the ECATs.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. Anyways, we're getting our ECATs up to 3rd grade this year is the last grade that we have to add that to. So that will be 4 positions in our 5th grade classrooms in the county, which I'm estimating to cost $220,000 for those 4 positions. And then PEIA is increasing 14% for us as the employer to pay on employees' behalf and on the employees' behalf. So the 14% increase with PEIA is, I'm estimating to cost $243,000. And just a side note, so that takes our portion of PEIA premiums for just about everybody that works for us to about $20,000 a year. So that's what we pay for our staff for a year for them to have insurance. We are getting an increased allocation from the state for PEIA, which
Was shocking.
I keep looking at these numbers thinking I've messed something up. Hopefully not, but that increase that they're telling us right now is 331,000. So that actually more than covers what I'm estimating the PEIA premium increase to be, in total. And then we are having, we'll call it an increase because we're having one less second grade classroom next year. The staff in there, I know those individuals in total cost $134,000. So my projected increase to fund balance next year is about break even at $1,600. We'll see as I get closer and closer to the budget and how next year works out, but that's my estimate right now, is just looking at next year, revenues and expenditures, I'm estimating that we'll break even.
Hey Tracy, the 4 additional positions that are going in that 3rd grade from that House Bill 3035, are those numbers included in the PEIA that we pay currently on here? Like, or is that maybe why it's higher, because it knows?
I didn't think about that. That might be, because when I did the 14% increase, I only did current staff having a 14% increase. Yeah, that's a good point. That would hurt us. I'm pretty sure I didn't include that. Yeah.
Well, it would really only be 2 because we've absorbed that 2nd grade.
Yes, so it'd be 2
Positions, so it'd
staff
be
at
2.
20,000 a year, so 40,000, yeah. Which would post negative, unfortunately. Okay, I have some more notes below, just, Hope Scholarship numbers, we don't know. Those are going to affect our state aid, I don't know what that might be. I think last year we were at about $30,000 in state aid that we lost, due to the Hope Scholarship.
And the guidelines keep changing for that to make it easier to get.
They do, they're hard to keep a handle on where we are. We do not have any federal program allocations yet. Typically, by this point, I at least have estimates on everything except for special ed. We're being told that they're not expecting any kind of drastic decreases, but the federal government at this point is not willing to release those numbers to the states. So I have no projections on that. And I'm sure you've seen other counties, a lot of them have ripped everybody, that's all the positions paid out of those federal monies. We haven't done that, partially because the number on the next line, you see there is our ending fund balance in FY24. We're expecting that if we don't get that federal money, we have this to absorb that, worst case scenario. This is what we have built up with our, mostly due to our ESSER funds. And that's why even if we break even or less, there's no risk because we've been able to build that up. We can cushion any blow. So we haven't had to make drastic risks. But just as that looks like a lot of money, and it is a lot of money for us. But as a kind of a way to balance it, it's 38% of our yearly revenue. So that's a huge pot of money, but it's not even half of what we spend in a year or what we get in a year. And then I just have below that what the recommended minimum fund balance that we maintain is. So, any questions, any requests for the budget?
I had talked with Tracy a little bit about the fact that where we were, you're marking, setting aside that $50,000 for doors previously at Davis Thomas in the high school, that was a decision the board had made prior to COVID, that was a number that we felt good about, being able to put that towards those projects for doors, that now we would like to kind of put that project on a rotational basis between the 3 schools. So $50,000 one year to one school for whatever project they need, $50,000 the next year to a different school for whatever project they need, and then to the 3rd school. What we would like to do, instead of issuing it all out at once, kind of do it on a rotational basis so we can kind of make a big deal out of the projects that are getting done and really, publicize it. But then if we do it in a 3-year span, we would like to then look at how we're setting and do we want to continue that? Is that something that we're financially in a place to do? Tucker Valley's working on their bleachers. They've been working on their bleachers for a long time. $50,000 would put them over the point to where they can have their bleachers done. But we would need to make that decision rather soon so that they could get installed and, things are filling up pretty quickly. Davis Thomas is of course working on their bathrooms. They're raising money for their bathrooms. I don't think that $50,000 right now is going to get them over the point where they need to be with their bathrooms. But maybe knowing if that was coming the next year, that this is what we need to get to, gives them, a year to plan to continue to fundraise to get what they need done. The high school, kind of the same thing. I don't know what they're looking for. I know Tucker Valley's next project is lockers. So those are the things that we're looking at. And I talked to Tracy about that, and I told her, and please share with her if I'm wrong, but that you all support that plan to move forward in taking that $50,000. So I told her to put that in the budget, and then we would decide, where it would go, year one, and how we would cycle through that.
I did want to mention too, so like that plan and earmark.
I know, that's the word you want to say, right?
Our match, that's the word,
Yeah.
our match for
SBA
SBA projects, will come out of our fund balance. Because I don't anticipate there being money in our current year revenue in excess to cover those. So, those would come out of the previous year fund balance that we're carrying.
I think that we should definitely continue to do the $50,000 projects in lieu of the doors now that we was given that. I really don't have a preference, just initially thinking which one we start at first, but I do agree that either Tucker Valley or Davis Thomas should be at the top of the list. Nothing against the high school, but I just think that those are two prominent projects that really need addressed first, whichever way the group decides to go with it. But I think that they should be chosen between those two the first time around.
Yeah, and again, we would need to make a decision on that pretty quick. I guess from our standpoint here, the bleachers at Tucker Valley currently are not mechanically working. So they can't move in and out. They're kind of stuck. We got some gears to try and replace it and the wheels, and it did not work. So they are what they are. So they're not mechanically functioning. For Davis Thomas, their bathroom needs a facelift by all means, but it's mechanically functioning. They're not having, leaks all over with their toilets, and yes, it definitely needs a facelift.
Modernize.
But
Did we ever get the estimates on some of that stuff?
they were supposed to come back, I think, weren't you, Megan?
Would you like me to,
You can.
we don't have them on yet.
I know that
We
they
got an
had
updated one,
They had
from a
one
different
scheduled
company,
and they didn't
and
show up.
then another one didn't show, and I think we're waiting on one more, because we need 3.
Yeah. So they don't have them all yet.
Yeah,
I knew the one that
Yeah,
didn't show up.
Jonathan just sent me one this past week, or last week, sorry.
So yeah, they're
Well, I'm
working,
glad to see that we're at least getting
Yes.
estimates.
Yes.
they're
We didn't
working
have
on
anything
that.
before at all. so
Right.
it's-
And so again, that's kind of our take on it. It's something we definitely want to help them with. And I think, as being a previous principal, if someone told me you're gonna get this much money in this year, it would really help me jumpstart what all of a sudden, okay, we're getting this much money, let's get everything in line. It gives us a plan. We know what we have to do moving forward, to move that along.
With the funds that have been raised at either place, but you do believe the 50 would get enough to put Tucker Valley over the top,
Yes,
but it wouldn't quite make it for them, and they would be, okay.
yes. Yeah, Tucker Valley has raised, about $60,000, I believe, for their bleachers. And I think you all were at 15,000,
I really don't.
I think, for the bathroom. And so it would definitely put Tucker Valley over. It was a little over 100,000.
But with it knowing that next year, hey, we
Yes,
did it next year,
right.
like, yeah.
Megan, did that include what Aaron recently got?
Erin had some in, oh, I don't know what she got recently. I'm just going from the numbers they gave us at the
No,
last
I
meeting.
completely understand. I just had talked with
But
somebody
she had
just like
gotten
Saturday,
something.
that-
Okay, I got
and I
you.
don't know if that was, I don't know if that was new or if it was previous that we've already been told about. So-
Yeah,
So.
I don't know of any new money that they've got.
Okay,
No, I don't either,
okay.
but, I mean, they could have, we haven't had a meeting to discuss within the building, at building level.
Yeah. I guess my
Recently.
stance, thank you, Mick. My stance would be on it is that the bleachers could be a safety factor. Unfortunately, and be honest, I'm for all of our schools.
Oh, absolutely.
I want them all to get everything they need, but I think the bleachers could be a safety factor versus, you know, as you said, the bathrooms are functional, they're unsightly in my opinion.
Yes.
They do not look like a bathroom I would truly want to go to be honest with you, but, you know, they would still be functional for another 365 until we could do the other projects. That's kind of where my head
Yeah,
is at
and
first.
we didn't want to take the 50 and split it between the three schools because we didn't feel like that would be enough to do anything at.
I
like,
agree.
to complete
Initially,
a
that's where my
project.
head was at. I was thinking,
Yeah,
well, why
mine
don't we
too.
give everybody a third of this, you know, and everybody can
Yeah,
get
that's
something
good.
every year. But then I was thinking, we're gonna have people coming to us, can we save our third till next year because
Yeah.
we need
Yeah.
this and so.
Yeah, so like for me as a previous principal, I would have been happier to know I'm getting this at this point.
Yeah,
This is, you know, I want to make sure this is the special project I want to hit with it. And because, I mean, you
well,
never
I'm just
know.
glad we're in the position that we can
Agreed.
even, because so many
Yeah.
people are not in this position.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Thank you, Tracy.
Yes,
Yeah.
Tracy, thank you for everything. Well, you're primary responsible, you and Alicia, for us being in this
Yeah.
position, so,
Yeah,
yeah,
she
we appreciate
does
that.
a great job and, we're hopeful to be able to do this and to continue to be able to do it for as long as we can. But yeah, so what we would like to do is to build it in for the next 3 years and then look at it after that point and see where we are and if there's, you know, what projects are coming up and what needs done. And, you know, I can sit here and tell you what I think each building needs, but I'm not in their building. Like, I don't know what they would choose to spend that money on. And
Do we
but
need
I
to put on the agenda like for the next meeting or something?
probably, because if it's going to be bleachers, then
And
that,
making them come and give us a report if they receive some money or
We
something.
plan on doing that.
yeah,
We
they're planning on coming back when they
Don't
have
have
all their
anything to
clothes and-
update you.
Oh,
Sure.
okay.
There's, honestly, there's really, I can tell you that we got a donation and our whole playground is gonna be,
Oh,
that's wonderful.
That's a plus.
yes, but that's really the only update I have, and we got one bid. So I mean, everything is moving.
Yeah.
In the right direction. The brush has been cut. Those kind of things, but really, we don't have any concrete things yet.
But no, no, you get this next year, you'd be like, okay, now we start planning.
Yes, 100%, like, and that had already been kind of discussed also, so.
So it gets excited.
Yes.
So I'd like to be put on the agenda for the next meeting that we make this official that we're gonna try to do these projects in that order. So that Tracy knows to go ahead and,
And that way you put.
not earmark, but,
Right, and I can go ahead and put the amount in.
And that way you put like-
As
and
far as
then-
I'm
and then that will also give everybody the opportunity to start thinking ahead
Yes.
of, you know, however order we put them in, they'll know that, hey, this is where we're at, and I have a year, or I'm this year, or I'm next year, or I'm.
I guess high school 2 years, done. Hey,
Yep.
what do we want to do?
Right.
Yeah, I would prefer one of the two schools be first, and then the high school after that.
First two elementary school.
All right. Does anybody have any questions for Tracy about the budget? That kind of
Keep up the good
highlighted
work.
there?
We appreciate it.
Thank you.
I appreciate you guys, I can talk to blue in the face, but if you all don't listen.
I know we're gonna
So, I mean, it's.
I'm one of those.
Yeah.
I totally wish you that. We were gonna say
I know what you're gonna say.
I know you're gonna say. Sorry.
And Megan,
It
thank
was
you
good,
all
though.
for spearheading these projects to get this done, because unfortunately, the society we live in right now, we have to fundraise to have anything.
100%.
It's unfortunate. It shouldn't be that way, but it is.
Well, I know when Alicia was principal and we fundraised and did the remodel of the gym. And we had to have new bleachers at that time because ours were condemned at that time.
Because they didn't
So-
go back in.
They wouldn't put them back in. So I get the whole bleacher. It is a safety concern, 100%.
So what's gonna happen with, what's wrong with it, stock for years or whatever?
Mhm.
You have to get someone to come in and fix it? or-
All
They'll just
we're
renew,
putting
getting a
in
new
place.
ones in.
Yeah.
They'll be completely replaced.
Yes.
Which those are original to that building, I believe, when they built it.
Yeah.
One of the teachers could any of all my former bleachers put in, because they didn't have the bleachers up first.
Right, I think Kim Lipscomb's mom did a bunch of fundraisers, because there's a plaque outside the gym, thanking her for the bleachers. I think she did a lot of fundraising and spearheaded that to get the bleachers for the school, because they didn't have bleachers.
They didn't have bleachers, yeah. Okay, well, there's nothing under information, nothing under discussion. We do have attendance exception for Davis Thomas. Any questions on that? There's just information item on that. We're down to the consent agenda. Do I have a motion to approve the consent agenda?
So moved.
Have a second.
Second.
Any questions on the minutes of the previous meeting? We have payment of bills. Tracy is here. Do you have questions on payment of bills? And use of transportation. All in favor to approve the consent agenda? It passes with a 4-0 vote. We're down to personnel.
We have nothing under professional resignations or retirements, nothing under service resignations or retirements. Under extracurricular resignations and retirements, we have 2. Do you want these together? You're fine.
If the ship leaves, it's just a
No, it's a
resignation.
Resignation, okay.
Yeah.
I'm fine.
Okay.
Yeah.
We recommend the following action as presented. Jordan Teeter, resignation as assistant cheerleading coach at TCHS, effective April 10th, 2025. And Crystal Kirk, resignation as head girls volleyball coach at TCHS, effective April 8th, 2025.
Do you have a motion?
So moved.
Second,
Second.
any discussion? All in favor? Passes 4-0.
Okay, under professional employment, we have none. Under professional probationary contracts,
Get the-
I'll need the,
okay, let me put her last,
okay.
and we'll do the other ones, and
That's
then we'll
fine.
push you out at the end, okay? All right, we recommend the following action as presented. Robert Pace, Brandy Miller, Landon Dillard, Erica Osborne, Kylie Woodford, and Julie Davis.
Do you have a motion?
So moved.
Second,
Second.
any discussion? All in favor? Passes 4-0.
Okay, also under professional probationary contracts, we recommend the renewal of Carson White.
Do you have a motion?
So moved.
Second,
Second.
discussion? All in favor? Passes 3-0. On the way, shut the door.
Why didn't he come back?
I'll say, on the way, shut the door, we can't listen to you. I'll say, on the way, shut the door. for you.
Sam.
I mean, you never know.
Chopper, we'll do the same thing with Natalie. I'll move her to the bottom and do everybody else before and then. All right, under professional continuing contracts, we recommend the following action as presented. April Ceasley, Sydney Goldstein, Stephanie Murphy, Erin Craigley, Emily Thompson, Lori Malnex, Frank Pushkis, Samantha Mudge, and Megan T. Helmick.
Do you have a motion?
So moved.
Second,
Second.
any discussion? All in favor? Passes 4-0.
All right, also under professional continuing contracts, we recommend the renewal of Natalie White.
Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Oh, Chopper, come back. Under service employment, we recommend the following action as presented. Christian Moore, long-term ECAP/transportation aide at TD EMS, effective April 16th, 2025.
Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second,
Second.
discussion? All in favor? Passes 4-0.
Okay, under service probationary contracts, we have any relatives on this one, or are we good? All right, we recommend the following action as presented. Jack Molnex, Tara Kale, Lisa Porter, Kevin Gill, Melinda Hunt, Andrea Moore, Kathy Helmick, Caitlin Falls, Bernie Bowen, Karen Ball, Maria Riccatelli, Crystal Phillips, Elizabeth Buchanan, and Brandon Bowen.
Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second,
Second.
any discussion? All in favor? Passes 4-0.
Under service continuing contracts, we recommend the following action as presented for renewal. We have Jamie Nestor, Kimberly Metz, Sylvia Owens, Kayla DeBartolomeo, Lindsay Knox, Stacy Nestor, Tanya Neiman, John Evans, Jeffrey Moody, and Julia Burnside.
Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second,
Second.
any discussion? All in favor? Passes 4-0.
All right, we have nothing under extracurricular employment and nothing under leave. Back to you.
We have nothing on our policies. We're down to the budget adjustments. Do I have a motion to approve the March 2025 budget adjustments?
So moved.
Second,
Second.
discussion? All in favor? Passes 4-0. We have the monthly financial statements for March 2025. Do I have a motion to accept the financial statements?
So moved.
Second,
Second.
any discussion? All in favor? That's 4-0. Now we're down to contracts, MOA, MOU. We have CTR partnership agreement. Do I have a motion to accept this partnership agreement?
So moved. Second.
Any discussion? You want to discuss that?
This is just a partnership with D&E. We've done it in the past with a few previous teachers. Students who are in their last year of their student teaching can actually come and work for a county that didn't have any certified applicants for a position in the area that that student is getting certification in. We pay them, I think it's like 65% of a normal teacher salary. They work for us and they get their clinical experience plus a little bit of paycheck. So this is an agreement with D&E to continue that.
All in favor? Passes 4-0. We get down to appointment of treasurer for the county DOE. I guess we have a motion. Do I have a motion to appointment of treasurer for county DOE?
Geez, I guess.
You have to.
Somebody else wants to do it, I do maybe. There goes half my job.
So moved.
Second.
Second, discussion?
Tracy, you're the treasurer again, I'm sorry.
All in favor? Passes 4-0.
Sorry about that. You're here. Want to do the next one?
I guess I'll make the announcement and we can discuss it. How's that sound?
Okay.
So we're down to new business. We have an expulsion of a student. A motion to accept this expulsion.
So moved.
Second,
Second.
okay, Alex, motion to discuss it.
This is just a recommended expulsion from Mr. Quirk at the high school. It was the student's second violation with alcohol on school premises, and being over the limit. I can't say legal limit because it's not legal, period, but definitely over the limit. So we are recommending expulsion for 365 days and placement in the ALC for the student to continue his coursework at the high school.
Huh?
Just that.
So he's 365. All in favor? That's the
Are you
first
allowed to
one.
know his name? 'Cause I know-
No, there's a minor.
What grade?
11. You can't get on your Word docs.
Yes, probably.
It's on there. There's a letter on there. Calendar.
I have curiosity on that one, so
I
we
know
need
that's-
out clear to the end of next year.
It'll be 365 from April 16th. So,
We'll be back for like a month or so.
and get to walk if everything goes well.
Okay. Calendar events, there's nothing listed underneath each calendar events, down to the next regular meeting is May 5th. So no meeting next week. Because when I saw that bid last week, I didn't realize it was this week's bid.
I thought I had a weekend between.
Yeah. I saw that, I saw that, look,
I knew it was on Tuesday.
it was on Tuesday, but I think it's next week too.
Yeah, but I had a
This was a
weekend
quick
between
turnaround,
that.
wasn't it?
So the next regular meeting will be held on May 5th at 4:30. Do I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
All right, second. We good?
Second. I love your meeting.
Now we got to the regular meeting.
Oh, yeah.
Because I don't see it on the computer. that's why.
Just on the computer? thought-
I don't know.
Well, I know on the email was the attachment on the email.
Anybody else need one? It should have been just the attachment from the state auditor saying that what we had sent in was approved and giving us permission to go ahead and approve the official as it was.
Then he kind of grabbed one of us.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
it's fine.
we gotta, did we adjourn the other one?
Yeah, we
Oh,
did.
yeah, okay, yeah. then- But we can.
We called a special
There.
levy rate meeting in the session. 4 of the board members are present. Ms. Hebb's not here. Before goes the pledge of allegiance and we'll go down to the levy rates. So, Tracy, talk about the levy rates.
I don't have anything new. The preliminary ones that I sent to you, were improved exactly how they were. So the document is identical to what it was before. State auditor has signed off, said we're good to go. We're able to approve.
So we just need approval.
Do you have a motion to approve?
Oh, maybe.
Second. All right, all in favor? 4-0. Approval of levy rates. Do you have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second? I don't understand why we have to have 2 meetings for this.
Right?
I mean, my
We
thing's
are
big.
done.
Why not? But it's a state.
We have-
It's a state.